Let this story begin by having you all feel the atmosphere of pressure, disbelief, and a wave of contempt that washed over them. Imagine a street in Canada during a grand annual parade, watched by the entire world. Military bands and ensembles from various countries had gathered here. Everyone was dressed in full parade uniform, showcasing their culture and national pride. It was a world-class event. And even the host country, Canada, had brought out its best, including the mounted police, Scottish bagpipers, and several specially formed military bands. The groups from abroad also went all out, not only displaying their skills but also waving their national flags and wearing national costumes to declare to the world how great their country was. However, among these formidable international groups, there was one that looked much younger and more inexperienced. This was the marching band from the Crescent Girls Lyceum in Lahore, Pakistan. The members were around 14 to 15 years old, small in stature, and dressed in simple, elegant green and white shalwar kameez uniforms. Their appearance among professional military bands, university ensembles, and professional musicians looked particularly conspicuous and out of place. Some of the international groups looked at them with a half-contemptuous smirk and whispered quietly, "Are they even going to manage? Did they come here just to play around?" In particular, a rumor went around that the band from the USA couldn't stop laughing, saying, "We Americans are the best here. How dare these kids even step onto the same stage as us?" What was worse, the German band standing behind the Pakistani one was also mocking the group of girls. "This is a world parade in Canada. Do they think this is a school event? Some group of schoolgirls is going to show off their skills. What audacity!" Hearing these disparaging words, the Pakistani girls felt a bit insecure, but they were reassured by their teacher and band leader, Ms. Fatima Khan, who whispered to them, "We have rehearsed in Lahore countless times. Don't be afraid of what they think. Just do your job to the best of your ability." Despite their young age, they had extensive experience in national competitions, as well as intensive and systematic training at their school. One might ask, can schoolgirls really be that good? In Pakistan, many school bands have a level comparable to university ones, and some have even won international awards. It was just that foreigners might not know about this. Ms. Fatima Khan looked at the girls and said, "Ignore the negativity. You have prepared with all your might. We even managed to close off the Mall Road in Lahore for rehearsals. This stage in Canada is just an opportunity to show the world what we are capable of." The next day, the parade officially began. It featured the Canadian Mounted Police Band, Scottish bagpipers, a folk ensemble from Germany, a procession of floats from the USA, and military bands from many other countries. The event lasted for several hours. With an atmosphere as tense as a military review, crowds of people lined the road to watch the annual performance. The flags of each country waved proudly. Media from all over the world had sent their reporters so as not to miss a single important moment. At first, the leading groups performed, such as the Canadian Army Band, which performed so cohesively that it drew thunderous applause from the audience. They were followed by the group from the USA, which performed a lively folk dance, receiving quite a bit of applause, but it was more polite applause than enthusiastic. And then it was the turn of the Schoolgirl band from Pakistan. When the announcer declared that these were schoolgirls from Pakistan, many in the audience were surprised. "Wow, they're schoolgirls?" Some reporters immediately readjusted their cameras to capture their cuteness or potential mistakes. As soon as the band appeared, some members of the American group standing nearby began to whisper, "Look, it's those kids again. How well can they even play the saxophone?" The German band, which was nearby, also whispered, "They've clearly come to spoil the party. If they play terribly, we, the professional German military band, will show them how it's done and outshine them." Although these remarks were not loud, the girls in the front rows heard them. They exchanged glances, saying nothing, only tightening their grip on their instruments and taking a deep breath. "We cannot bring shame to Pakistan." When Ms. Fatima Khan gave the signal, a deafening sound of drums erupted. The melody was incredibly powerful and confident. But what was even more striking was their perfectly synchronized movement. Their left and right feet stepped in unison, and the movements of their instruments were as one. Combined with their bright faces and vibrant green uniforms, the picture was lively and very expressive. The crowd, which had been indifferently waiting for the next group, suddenly turned to watch and listen. Everyone took out their mobile phones and cameras to unhesitatingly photograph this group of girls. The announcer couldn't help but exclaim, "My goodness, are these really schoolgirls? Why are they as precise as a professional military band, and yet they have so much energy?" The music they played did not sound childish at all, but was confident and astonishingly precise. They also performed various formations, such as a beautiful crescent and star, which drew loud applause from the spectators on the sidelines. Some even wondered if they were a professional military band disguised as schoolgirls. But when it was announced in English that they were from a girls' music school in Pakistan, with an average age of just 15, and that they had trained hard for over half a year, the audience's applause grew even louder. The German band, waiting for their turn, was stunned to see this. They thought they would be the stars of the show, but now all eyes were on the Pakistani girls ahead. One member muttered, "How is this possible? These kids are too good. We'll have to try harder." As for the American band, their disappointment was palpable, as they had just been saying, "We Americans are the best," and now the entire street was roaring and applauding the Pakistani girls like crazy. Some even shouted, "Bravo, Pakistan!" An American photographer standing nearby said, "It's not surprising. It's in their blood, like their cricket team. You can feel they have amazing teamwork." The person next to him replied, "Exactly. Pakistan seems to be a country that places great importance on cooperation and discipline." This conversation quickly spread through the crowd, and many nodded in agreement. In the end, when the schoolgirl band from Pakistan reached the end of the parade route, they received the loudest applause of the day, which echoed throughout the street. Putting down their instruments, they all hugged each other with joy. They knew this was recognition on the world stage. Their student leader, Aisha, had tears in her eyes. "We rehearsed thousands of times for this day. We finally did it." The performance of the German band, which came next, was, of course, overshadowed by the excitement of the previous act. Although they performed well and received applause, all the audience's enthusiasm had already been given to the Pakistani girls. After the event, various media outlets ran headlines like, "One 4-year-old band delivers a stunning performance on par with professional military." A video of their performance went viral on social media. Internet users from all over the world admired them. Too synchronized. At first, I thought it was an army band, and when it was confirmed that their real age was between 14 and 15, it caused even more astonishment. At the celebration gala that evening, the Pakistani girls could finally relax. They hugged and laughed. I can imagine how embarrassed those who underestimated us must be now. "Miss," Fatima Khan smiled and replied, "We don't need to mock anyone. The important thing is that we showed the world Pakistan's potential." As for the German band, when reporters asked for their opinion on the Pakistani group, they initially looked a bit embarrassed, but eventually admitted honestly, "We really underestimated them. Their performance deserves respect, and it taught us never to underestimate an opponent." Just a few weeks after the event, the schoolgirl band from Pakistan received invitations from other international music festivals around the world. They instantly became new stars on the global stage, and this made a huge contribution to Pakistan's positive image. A year later, most of the members had moved on to higher secondary school or university, but the precious memories of that day remained. Some decided to continue their musical education, and one even enrolled in a military academy, hoping to one day become a real member of a military band. When journalists interviewed Aisha, one of the leaders, again and asked how she felt looking back on that day, she replied with a smile, "Both the German and American bands laughed at us, but we weren't angry at all. We knew that our music and our steps would say everything for us." And the result proved that even school students can do great things. I hope that in the future, I can use music to impress the world, and use the spirit of teamwork to let everyone know that our Pakistan is an extraordinary country. This story may be just a small episode in the eyes of some foreigners, but the fact that a small group of girls was able to use their abilities to prove the boundless potential of Pakistan on such a serious world stage is something to be truly proud of. Perhaps this is what the American photographer called trademark Pakistani teamwork. But whatever the case, on that day in Canada, they were the real stars without a doubt, and made the whole world know that school students from Pakistan could achieve such an astonishing level. When the plane carrying the students landed at Allama Iqbal International Airport in Lahore, they couldn't believe their eyes when they saw what awaited them. A huge crowd, families, friends, junior students, as well as dozens of reporters and photographers had gathered in the arrivals hall. Posters with inscriptions like, "Welcome back, our heroines," and "Pride of Pakistan," were held high. As soon as the girls in their band uniforms came out, the hall erupted in applause and cheers. They, who just a few days ago were just shy girls facing contemptuous remarks, had now become national heroes. The tears rolling down their cheeks were not from fatigue, but from overwhelming joy and pride. Their story quickly became a national phenomenon. The Ministry of Education and the Pakistan National Council of the Arts held a special ceremony to award them with certificates of honor, and also bestowed upon all the members the title of Young Ambassadors of Pakistani Culture. Their photos appeared on the covers of magazines, and the story of their journey was included in school textbooks as an example of unyielding spirit. Their success had a huge impact. The girls' school where they studied became famous throughout the country. The number of applicants for the school's music club skyrocketed. Schools all over Pakistan began to invest more in arts and music projects. Inspired by their story, the government also announced the creation of a new fund to support talented youth to participate in international competitions. 5 years later, the flame lit that day was still burning brightly. Aisha, the band's leader on that day, had now become a top student at the National Academy of Performing Arts in Karachi. She chose to specialize in conducting with the dream of one day leading Pakistan's National Symphony Orchestra. She often shared her experience with younger students. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not good enough just because you're young or where you come from. Let your ability be your proof. Another member, who played the trombone, fulfilled her dream by joining the prestigious Pakistan Army Band. She turned her experience in Canada into a driving force on her military career path to serve her homeland through music. As for the other members, although they did not pursue a path in professional music, the spirit of teamwork and iron discipline learned that day remained forever in their hearts. They achieved success in various fields, from business to science, and are still proud of what they accomplished together. The relationship with the American and German bands also changed. At other international music festivals many years later, they met again. There were no more taunts or fierce competition, only respect and admiration for each other. They exchanged experiences, and the bands from both countries admitted that the performance of the Pakistani girls had taught them a valuable lesson about not underestimating others. The story of the Canadian miracle became a legend in the circles of youth music in Pakistan. It was not just a beautiful memory, but living proof that with hard work, team spirit, and a brave heart, extraordinary things can always happen. Every time a youth orchestra from Pakistan prepares to step onto the world stage, they are always reminded of the story of their predecessors. They proved that it doesn't matter how small you are, as long as you have faith and unity, you can create a sound that will resonate around the world and bring glory to the green and white flag of Pakistan.